Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Philadelphia Eagles Now. We're going to jump into a look at Todd McShay's most recent mock draft, a 2-round mock draft, so 3 picks for Philadelphia here in just 1 second. First, make sure you guys are subscribed. Plenty more Eagle content, including news and rumors. There's a Jalen Reagor trade rumor we're going to talk about tomorrow on the video. I don't know if they're actually going to trade him, but we're going to do that. Draft stuff, mailbags later on. Be sure to subscribe down below. Let's jump into, of course, the new Tom McShay mock draft, which is honestly kind of crazy that we're 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. I mean, genuinely, this time in 2 weeks, it will be the week of the draft. So April 12th is right now. April 28th is your official start day. And again, the mockers out there, I call them mockers, the ESPN analysts, the NFL Network guys, your bloggers, whatever. They're all releasing their latest mock drafts, and things are changing. And honestly, with 3 picks in the first 2 rounds, it's perfect time to look at what Tom McShay has Philadelphia doing. I think it's a very interesting mock draft. We're going to get into that in the 3 picks here in just 1 second. First, here are your first, let's just call them 5 picks here. Even though we're going to look at the first 3, you do have 2 in the first, as we know, 15, 18 overall. Then you have 1 in the second, 51 overall. I wouldn't be surprised if Philadelphia trades back up into the second at some point, because they do have 2 third rounders. You could package a couple of 3s, or a 3 this year, 3 next year, maybe an additional pick on top of that, and move into the second round again. So I expect, obviously, 3 picks at least in the first 2 rounds, but it could be 4 depending on what happens on draft day. Now, in terms of McShay's mock draft, we're getting into some of the notable picks that happened right before the Eagles went on the board at 15 overall. Panthers took Kenny Pickett. The Giants took Kyle Hamilton, so no falling for the safety out of Notre Dame. Drake London, the wide receiver, was your first one off the board of the Falcons. Ahmad Gardner was gone at 10 to the New York Jets, and the Washington Commanders took Chris Olave. So again, showing you where a couple of the dream draft targets who we know won't be there at 15, but you might want at 15. They're already gone in McShay's mock draft. Before we show you who they took at number 15 overall, add break pin comment down below. Is there, if you have anyone in the first round, like if you could have your pick of anybody, if you had the first overall draft pick right now for Philadelphia, who would you take? Curious who your favorite overall players in this draft. Go to the pin comment, let me know right now. All right, 15 overall. This guy gets mocked the Falcons a lot, and Tom McShay has done it again. He has the Eagles taking Trent McDuffie, the cornerback out of Washington. Now, when you think about this pick, it makes sense for a couple of reasons. We're going to read you Tom McShay's thoughts on it here in just 1 second. But corner has been the one thing Philadelphia didn't really address this offseason. Now, I guess wide receiver is, but they still got Zach Pascal. But overall, they haven't done anything at corner. And so the expectation is, unless you're magically going to sign Stephon Gilmore sometime between now and the NFL draft, which of course, as of filming this, has not happened, then you're going to need somebody out there. Unless you really think that Zach McPherson or some of these other young corners that Nick Sirianni alluded to at the NFL owners meetings a couple of weeks ago are going to compete to win the job. I just don't see it. I think you go ahead and get a corner. Is it McDuffie, though? That's the real question. I mean, a lot of guys are higher on him than I am. I think he's a top 5 corner. McShay has him as a top 3 corner, and hence him going off the board here at 15 overall. Here's McShay's thoughts on McDuffie. Throw it up on the screen right now. Quote, the Eagles still have 2 picks in the first round following their Monday afternoon trade, and the first is an instinctive, hard-hitting corner. Isn't a better tackling corner in the entire class than McDuffie. It's the speed to stay with receivers and limits big plays. Darius on the other side, Philadelphia could have one of the top cornerback duos in the league, end quote. He's right about this. I like Trent McDuffie. I think he's a very good player. He's not Ahmad Gardner, and that's the problem. He's not Derek Stingley. We've been really hyped about those 2 players, but he still is I think, possible elite cornerback who would really shore up the other side of this offense, or sorry, other side of this defensive secondary, because we like McPherson. I mean, I don't hate him as a draft pick, but is he really going to be, a true starting caliber corner in the league? That remains to be seen. Now, let's not take Tom McShay's word for it only. Let's go to the Pro Football Network's write-up on McDuffie. This is good stuff here, too. Throw it up on your screen. Quote, my official comp for McDuffie is a powder keg. The referees may want to check their jet turbines under the Washington cornerback's socks because McDuffie moves with an unfair amount of explosiveness. Hyperbole aside, McDuffie is truly in the highest tier athletically. Elite explosiveness is visible in multiple phases. He has searing quickness. Charging the backfield with the vertical burst to rise up for high passes. Explosiveness translates to spry, sudden feet at the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, there's good stuff there. Come on, he's an explosive corner. He's a quick corner. He's a playmaking corner, and someone who I think could be incredibly good opposite of Darius Slay, and really could learn behind Darius Slay. You think about Darius Slay's knowledge as a 30-plus-year-old cornerback in the National Football League, one of the best to do it, one of the best currently to do it in the National Football League. I really think McDuffie would not be a bad pick. I just don't know if Eagle fans would be pumped by him because they want Sauce Gardner or they want, Derek Stingley. So trying to just show that he's probably going to be an option at 15 overall and would still be a very good one at that. Do you rather have McDuffie? Or sorry, let me ask you this. Would Trent McDuffie get you excited at 15? Like, if they got McDuffie at 15, would you be hyped about it? Or would you be like, it's fine. Like, give me yes if you'd be hyped. Give me no if you would not. We stay at the 18th overall draft pick, or we stay in the first round at number 18. And Tom McShay, a man after my own heart, he takes Devin Lloyd, the linebacker out of Utah. No surprise here. Come on. I mean, what do you want me to say? I've said everything there is to say about Devin Lloyd, Fred Warner 2.0, best overall linebacker in the draft. Incredible pre-snap change of play ability, something that is underrated for linebackers. Some can do it really, really well. Ray Lewis historically was the best at it. Others really can't. You see that in the National Football League. This would be a great surprise thing for all Eagle fans, and a surprise nonetheless because Howie doesn't draft linebackers. It's just a fact. He just doesn't do it. So he was able to actually pull it off and get one in the first round. No one better than Lloyd. I would love, love, love for him to go ahead and add the linebacker out of Utah, and I think 18 is a good spot. At one point, Lloyd was a top 10 pick. He's fallen a little bit because the quarterbacks are coming up in the draft, and that obviously, you get a little hype there, but this would be a great pick overall, and I love the idea of adding him to the Eagle linebacker depth chart. Now, Tom McShay's thoughts on Lloyd, quote, yes, the Eagles typically pass on off-ball linebackers in round 1, but they need one, and Lloyd, a potential immediate high-impact starter, is sitting there on the board. Former safety, Lloyd flies all over the field and does a little bit of everything, had 99 tackles, 18 TFLs, and 4 interceptions last season. Now, again, it was the one spot that they didn't really address in terms of the offseason. Now, technically, they got White in terms of, an off-ball, or I should say, an outside linebacker, but Devin Lloyd is ready to play inside linebacker immediately. I mean, immediately can be a starter in a base 4-3 or be one of the 2 starters in a nickel defense. Oh man, he's so good. I'm just such a fan. If they don't get him, it's going to be a real depressing draft night for me, and obviously we'll cover it in the channel, so you'll see how depressed I am. But hopefully they're able to go ahead and grab Devin Lloyd. Pro Football Network has a write-up on Lloyd as well. Good stuff here. Quote, together, Lloyd's athleticism and length make for a dangerous combination, especially when he uses his length effectively. The Utes product can shed blocks and surge ahead to seal off running lanes. He actively extends his arms to disrupt passes in coverage. As a tackler, he uses length and closing bursts to wrap up regularly. Again, what more do you want me to say? I'm going to say, take him. I love it. It's the best pick on this mock draft, and I am an absolute huge fan. If you guys love Devin Lloyd as much as I do, give this video a thumbs up. I think most of you guys do. At least I try to convince you that how much I love Devin Lloyd. If you love Devin Lloyd, give this video a thumbs up. And of course, while you're down there, hit the red subscribe button because the draft coverage is great here. We try to give you guys no nonsense, right? Here's what's going on. Here's the thoughts on it. Move on. That's kind of my whole philosophy here for the channel, and we do that a lot for draft coverage. If you guys like what we do for the draft, you want to be subscribed for that, go down below and hit the red button. All right, final pick here. It's a 2-round mock draft from Tom McShay, 51 overall. It is the same thing I did in a mock draft just last week. He took David Ojabo, the pass rusher, out of Michigan. And we talked about Ojabo a lot, and I think he would have been the pick at 15, honestly. If he'd have been there at 15, pre-Achilles, he would have for sure been taken by Philadelphia at 15. They love him that much. Now you have the issue of when can he play? That's the one thing. It's not can he play. It's not will he recover. I think he will. He's young. I mean, medicine is great these days for Achilles injuries, but when can he play? McShay doesn't think he can play that often, but or that quickly. I think he can play pretty darn soon. Here's McShay's thoughts, quote, Eagles traded away one of their 3 first-rounders, but they ended up with a first-round talent in round 2 anyway. Of course, Ojabo tore an Achilles in Michigan Pro Day. Philadelphia can't expect to see him much, if at all, this season, but he has a lot of upside, and his speed and suddenness can cause offensive tackles a lot of issues. Eagles can wait on his recovery. This could end up a huge win, end quote. I mean, you go back to what they did with Josh Sweat. Knee injury, waited till the middle of the draft, took him, just got a massive contract. I think the Eagles are going to for sure look to target Ojabo in round 2. Like, I want Ojabo so bad in round 2, and I think he's the perfect value pick. Think Landon Dickerson last year. I didn't want Landon Dickerson. They took him, and I said, not really a need. He's coming off an injury, and he's one of the best young left guards in the game. It's fantastic. I see a very similar thing happening with Ojabo, and I think McShay and I are very much on the same page here in terms of who Philadelphia could take. Before we go to get into my final thoughts on this mock draft, our friends at BetUS have a great promo for you guys. You guys want to bet on 76ers, for instance? I mean, any sports in general, but the 76ers versus Raptors playoff series is coming up here. Bet with our friends at BetUS, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is Eagles125. Get you a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. Turn your $100 deposit into $225 to throw on the Sixers in 6? Between the Sixers and 5? Someone on ESPN said they'd sweep them. Who knows? Either way, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Eagles125. Again, here's your Tom McShay 3-round mock. Trent McDuffie, the corner out of Washington at 15. Devin Lloyd at 18. And David Ojabo there at 51. This is great. I have no issue with this. Like, the one question I have with this is wide receiver. And I think I answered it in my mock draft a couple of last week, where I did something very similar here when all defensive end, and then I went David Ojabo, and then I went, or Devin Lloyd, then Ojabo. You can get wide receivers in round 3-4, 2-3-4. I think they can for sure load up on receivers in the middle of the first round. Will they be as impactful right away as a Drake London or a Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson? Maybe not, but I do think that wide receiver will be answered in the middle part of the middle part of the NFL draft going forward here in April. We'll finish on this. Grade McShay's mock, A, B, C, D, or F. Give me your grade on his mock draft down below in the comment section. Ultimately today on our edition of Philadelphia Eagles Now, news and rumors video tomorrow. Plenty more content as we roll into Hump Day here. So hit that red subscribe button. For the channel, Tom Smott signing off. To the rest of your day.